Creative Lab, financed by the European Union and co-financed by the government of Montenegro, was established according to the business model and collaborative working space composed of space to support the development of startups, co-working space and makerspace. It is intended for representatives of cultural and creative industries, product development and connecting the community and researchers with traditional businesses. It has a set of equipment for modeling, printing and visualization of products. At this place you can come, work in space, develop prototypes, get support and connect with clients. And what is very important, to be part of the community and a supportive environment to gain new information and knowledge. And if they want to gather, Creative Lab members must fly to the Upbeat Event and Training Center at the Čubranović House, which is listed as the oldest house in Podgorica. Upbeat Event and Training Center is situated in a house Čubranović, which is listed a cultural monument as the oldest house in Podgorica. The space is intended for all types of meetings, meetups, presentations, but also space for co-workers and digital nomads who want to work in Montenegro a certain period of time. It has complete equipment and technical support for organizing hybrid and offline events.
My name is Ivan and I'm blockchain architect and expert mentor in our team. Development of Perper stablecoin is funded through the project application of blockchain technology in provision of services in the tourism industry, supported by European Union, within the collaborative grant scheme for innovative project ideas. So, what's the Perper? How does it work? It is pegged 1 for €1. The substituted euros are held in reserve. This guarantees that each Perper is backed by euro. Perper is founded by Upbeat Hub in Montenegro, Europe, 2019, coded and supported by Ravencoin World, Blockchain Lab and Upbeat Hub team. To get Perper, you need to send euro to our company bank account. You can exchange your credit card balance into Perper, exchange your crypto coins into Perper and reverse. You can exchange Perper to euro whenever you want. You will get on your Perper wallet equivalent amount of Perper stable coins. But what's the point of all this? Perper is tokenizing euros and putting them on the blockchain. This makes euros easier to transfer as they can be moved anywhere in the world instantly. Euro, on the other side, moves relatively slowly, as you probably know, especially if we are sending euros abroad. Download Perper wallet application, register and verify your account. Get unique user ID, which is easy recognized by people. For example, your user ID might be your name, surname or nickname. Send Perper to your family and friends, employees, to the plumber via QR code if they are with you, or via user ID wherever they are. Pay and get paid on e-commerce, in supermarkets, coffee shops, restaurants, various shops. Buy anything, buy air tickets, pay for the taxi, etc., etc. And keep on your mind that all data is stored on the blockchain and cannot be reversed. The security absolute, money laundering is impossible. Thank you.
One of the most compelling global issues nowadays regards cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. Every day we witness a huge number of emerging circumstances related to the cryptocurrencies, especially the stablecoin. We strive to understand them, to describe them and their behavior. We paid most interest to small legal systems such as the Montenegrin one, therefore the Perper. Many questions were raised. What are the possible legal issues? Are there any potential risks for the system? Would individuals and institutions suffer any legal loss? How could the institutions benefit from its behavior? Anyway, our main focus was if Perper, a stablecoin that we developed, could answer all those specific questions and fit our needs to move the system and institutions closer to the real sector. Perper is a specific type of cryptocurrency that represents certain value. It's expressed in a digital form and presented as a token. It is fully secured with euro, So it is very similar to those exchange mechanisms implemented by the central banks in Europe and worldwide. This is the point where public and private sector meet and could act in coordinated moves. Existing in a space between those two, Perper could help intervene, present and overcome present difficulties in the regulatory and control mechanisms, thus providing tax administration, anti-money laundering and data protection authorities with relevant and unchangeable real-time information. All this should lead to rise of confidence in stablecoin, which could result in, for example, larger collateralization in commercial banks. Yet it remains necessary for the state itself to address this problem and start regulation in this field, because this is not the future but the present field of modern way of doing business.
Our team worked in a very complex macroeconomic problem. The problem was an academic problem, and we are actually trying to adapt stablecoin in Montenegro for the first time. Not only in Montenegro, because recently there is no boundaries, at least political boundaries. We academically studied adaptation of stablecoin in Montenegro. And that was not easy. One of the main problems was the methodology that we're going to use and get some very practical, useful numbers from the policymakers, central government and the state of Montenegro. With the cohesion of the team, we reached up to a model after long debates, actually up to some variables that we're going to use into the model. We tried tons of variables in the model, and some of them proved to be very, very useful. And the main principles were the variables that we used were divided into the demand and supply side. Some of them actually fit to the model. The model that we used is called structural vector autoregressive model, and we did a pretty good forecasting. But as we know, the SVAR model has an overfitting problem, and we want it to be more precise. So the policymakers in Montenegro adapting this financial asset to our economy to be more precise with the forecasting and help them make more concrete decisions for the benefit of 650,000 people, at least. And we proceeded with the model and got into the Bayesian structural VAR model, and we got to the numbers, and they proved very useful. The conclusion and implications are very useful for the Central Bank of Montenegro, for the Ministry of Finance, and the central government. We actually proved that stablecoin brings benefits to Montenegro. But in combination with Bitcoin, when we simulated the situations, the Bitcoin is not predictable. Actually, we simulated increased the Bitcoin from 20 to 120, and we got some results. But when we increased extremely the simulation up to 600%, the results were the same. That makes us conclude that the spillover effect of the Bitcoin in Montenegrin market is not predictable, which means that we, as the government, have to be very precise in making very precise fiscal and monetary regulations in order to prohibit future upcoming spillover and unpredictable effects in Montenegro. The good side of the story is that the stablecoin brings some benefits. It increases the stock capital in Montenegro, it increases the human capital, it increases the employment and the GDP, and which is, I would say, the most important message of this novelty of the study is the adjusting mechanism of expectations, which till right now shows that the human capital is very quickly adjusted to the market. So the young people would go to the schools and try to comprehend what's going on with this automation of money and how it works, the stablecoin, and they will be very curious. And for the first 10 months, they will go through a curve, but after a year, they will understand the mechanism and they will adapt and bring benefits to the Montenegro. And the foreign capital shows to be very, very inclusive. So we would have foreign direct investments in Montenegro, but very, as I said before, we have to be very precise in making principles and the framework of the fiscal policies for bringing this new automation into our market. And finally, there is a lot of benefits and there is disadvantages that we have to be very careful bringing this into the market. And the employment rate would increase, which is very important as in combination with two other pathologies that we have into our market, which is currently debt, and actually we are over-debted, and we're in combination with the COVID crisis, which would definitely lower. So we have all to sit down and make further analysis how to institutionally get a framework for the adoption of this new blockchain technology. Even though it's a blockchain, we have to be careful because the blockchain will not be adopted worldwide by the governments of the other states, and we have to work on that more. Thank you.
Perper is stablecoin. Each Perper is backed by euro. EU stablecoin agenda strictly followed. Perper is tokenized euro on the blockchain. This makes euro easier to transfer as it can be moved anywhere in the world instantly. All data are stored on the blockchain and cannot be reversed or modified. The security is absolute. Perper is a product of Montenegro.